must go. Darrell Gilyard must go. Darrell Gilyard must go. Darrell Gilyard must go.
It was a heated and contentious protest outside a local church. Men and women divided over whether a registered sex offender should be allowed to preach from the pulpit. This protest came yesterday after Darrell Gilyard served as a guest pastor at the Christ Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. Gilyard recently served a 3-year prison sentence for molesting 2 teenage girls. To comply with his sex offender status, the church tells Channel 4 children were not allowed to be at the main service. But as Channel 4's Vicki Pierre tells us, even that had the community reacting.
No one was here at this church to make their voices known about this particular protest, but the men and women out here made their voices loud and clear. So did a lot of supporters.
There were only a handful of them, but the protests and confrontations were loud.
I am not speaking for Shiloh. I'm speaking for myself.
Brother, I love Christ, but Darrell Gilyard got to go.
That's right.
These are children.
Darrell Gilyard must go. Darrell Gilyard must go. Darrell Gilyard must go.
Members of the New Black Panthers came to the Christ Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church with a protest and a clear message.
This church will allow Darrell Gilyard, a predator, to come in and sneak through the back door and teach the congregation and then say the children must go to another building. He should not be allowed to pastor in any churches.
But with as many people who came to protest Gilyard's preaching at this church, just as many came to support him.
If you read your Bible tell you, let him without sin, and this came from Jesus' mouth, let him without sin cast the first stone.
What?
If you read your Bible tell you, let him without sin, and this came from Jesus' mouth, let him without sin cast the first stone. This came from Jesus' mouth. Let him without sin cast the first stone.
What would Jesus say if he was standing here right
allow
now?
him to be a minister.
And Jesus would not be doing what you're doing.
What?
Jesus would not be doing what you're doing. Jesus would not be doing what you're doing. Jesus would not be doing what you're doing.
How you know that?
Jesus, because I read my Bible and you should read yours.
What?
Jesus would not be doing what you're doing.
How you know that?
Jesus, because I read my Bible and you should read yours.
Members of this church say children will not be allowed into the main service when Pastor Gilyard is on the pulpit. They believe God gives many, many second chances.
We went to the clerk of courts and got a copy of the conditions of Gilyard's probation. It includes no unsupervised contact with children under 18, not living within 1,000 feet of a park or playground where children congregate, and not working or volunteering where children congregate. We spoke with the state attorney's office, and they say that based on what the church is doing to separate the children, it seems they are complying with those requirements. The Department of Corrections also tells us Gilyard is required to let his probation officer know when and where he gets work. Either way, it's clear Gilyard's newest role is a hot-button issue.
The New Black Panthers say they want to go as far as planning a community meeting to address this issue. When that will take place, of course, we'll keep you updated. Vicki Pierre, Channel 4, the local station.